Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Relationships. What would you do if the person that made your school life miserable would years later ask you out on a date as an adult? Well, that is exactly what happens to OP in our first story. So let's get started with that. This one's from user Pushy1. My 26 male, tormentor from school, 26 female. Can people really change? And if so, how much? There is no other way to say this. She was a mean girl in middle school. She humiliated me early in high school and thankfully ignored me our senior year. She was always the popular cheerleader type, and when we were in middle school, she would verbally attack me and make fun of me and my appearance whenever she could. She would do it as the leader of a pack of she-wolves who would write fake notes to me and take photos of me and Photoshop all sorts of vile things and plaster them all over the school. When we were in the 10th grade, she catfished me. There wasn't a word for it back then, and eventually got myself and another guy to meet one another after school. Both of us thinking that there was a cute girl in school who liked us. Needless to say, both of us were the butt of the jokes for the rest of the school year. Finally, by the middle of our junior and senior years, she thankfully forgets I exist. Flash forward to the present. I'm parking my car and getting ready to go into Wendy's for lunch when I hear my name being spoken by a person directly behind me. I turn just in time to see my tormentor coming in for a hug. My first reaction was to run because of our previous dealings with one another, but she is quicker than I am. She stands there chatting in line with me like we were the best of friends and reminiscing about grand old times that never existed for me. She and I lived two very different high school experiences, I assure you. She, the popular girl, and I, the social outcast, not even cool enough to be accepted by the nerds and hipsters. So I get my food. I was planning on eating there, but since it was apparent that her and the woman she was with were eating there, I got mine to go. I wished her well and tried to bolt out the door, all the while losing whatever appetite I had. But before I left, she asked me for my number, and like an idiot, I gave it to her. Next day, I get a call from my sister. By the way, while I love my sister, she also lived a very different life than I did in high school. In fact, I think my tormentor idolized her. She was a grade ahead of us. My sister says she got a call from Lady Voldemort wanting to know all about me. Said she was asking all forms of questions about my life, what I was doing, and if I was seeing anyone. I told her that I had ran into her at Wendy's and that I am sure that this was some form of elaborate scheme of hers. My sister said I was a dummy and that we are grown adults and that I need to see what is right in front of me. I of course responded by saying that what was in front of me was Lucifer on Earth. Sure enough, my phone blows up that night with texts from a strange number. It didn't take long to deduce that it was her. She started with small talk about how great it was to see me again and how wonderful I looked. Then she goes into asking me why I never asked her out in high school. I nearly flushed my phone in the toilet from that one. Now, mind you, she is saying all of this on text without me replying at all. Finally, I respond back with, "It was nice seeing you too." Within a minute of hitting send, my phone is ringing. I guess she decided that my response was good enough to give me a ring. She asks me out for a date for this Friday night. Here's my dilemma. From an outsider's perspective, she is gorgeous. I mean, a solid 8, maybe 9 on a 10 scale. However, when I hear her speak or think about her, I can't see her physical attributes. I see visions of hell on earth with her riding in some fiery chariot being drawn by black horses that snort smoke and fire. I realize that I'm being overly dramatic, and in my real life, I am long past being socially awkward. I stare down drunks and a-holes every day in my job. Did I mention that I was a police officer and when I was at Wendy's, I was on the job? And generally, I'm not afraid. She, on the other hand, makes me want to crawl under my bed and not come out. Is it possible for her to change? What the hell do I do with all of these repressed emotions that I obviously have pent up from years and years ago? She either is oblivious to what she did to me or does remember and is trying to forget. Since I told her I would go out with her, I have gotten several texts about looking forward to Friday. My heart races every single time I get a text from her, but not from the romantic butterfly in the stomach kind of way. Every single person I know who I've spoken to about this tells me that I am an idiot. My sister, my best friend. Hell, even my partner from work who doesn't know her but saw her asks me if I've lost my damned mind. They all tell me that I'm being a drama king and that we were both children when this occurred and that I need to let it go. My sister even sent me the damned Disney video link to the song. She was nice enough in person the other day and she genuinely seems excited about Friday, and I know that there are hundreds of guys who would fall all over themselves to go out with her. But damn, it's just hard to let go of something that I guess I've been nurturing for over a decade. It wouldn't be fair to either of us for me to go into Friday night with her and ambush her with problems from my past. So I gave her a call this afternoon and invited her to a late lunch tomorrow when she gets off of work, which she was thrilled to do. I plan on talking with her then about things and we will see what happens from there about Friday night. I'm either setting myself up to be the world's largest douchebag or I'm going to get burned again. Her acting all giddy every time I talk with her makes me feel like a crap for holding on to the past. I just plan on easing into the conversation and I'm going to be very specific about the catfishing thing. I know for a fact she was behind that one and that is the one that hurt the worst. So, what do you guys think? Do you think she's actually being the tormentor again and she's just having some fun with him? Or is she genuinely interested in getting to know him and going out on that date? Well, the good thing is that we don't have to necessarily speculate because OP gave us an update. So let's continue with that. I arrived early enough so that I made sure to be there before her, so I could pick out a secluded spot so we could talk and not be interrupted. She got there about 15 minutes after I did, right on time by the way, and she spotted me and came over to sit. She was just beaming and had a huge smile on her face from the moment she came in the door, and it honestly made me feel like a creep who was laying in waiting to ambush her. But when she started to talk, her voice just sent cold chills down my spine because even though she was saying nice things, it was still that voice that I remembered from years ago, and that helped steel my resolve. She was saying how thrilled she was to meet with me today and then how much she was looking forward to Friday night. At this point, the waitress came to get our order, so that caused a natural pause. I decided to wait till the food came so that we would not have any further interruptions, so we just made small talk. Food comes and I take the shot. Simply put, I just asked her why she was now interested in me when all during our school years I was less than dog crap to her. Yes, I said dog crap because, well, just because. She actually teared up a little. But to her credit, she didn't cry or anything at this point. She goes on to say that she knew when she did the catfishing thing that she had gone too far. She stated that she had no good reasons for doing anything other than she was very immature and very wrong. She then went on to tell me something I had no idea about. I guess the other guy who she tricked with the catfishing scheme did not take it as well as I did. She said about a month after she did that, he physically attacked her on the way to her mom's car one day while she was leaving cheerleading practice. She had a fractured jaw, contused lungs, and 2 broken ribs. I knew she had missed some school, but at that time had no idea why, nor did I care. She then said that she never came to apologize to me for it because after that she was afraid and did everything in her power to avoid me for the rest of our time in school. The other guy transferred out before that school year was up. She did make what I thought was a really heartfelt apology to me. I am usually a decent judge of character, and believe me, in my line of work, people lie to me all the time. So you pick up on traits, and she either is one of the best liars I've ever come across, or she was genuinely sorry for doing it. We then talked about middle school, and while she admitted some of the things that happened, she let me know that some of them were not her but girls who she was hanging out with at the time. Some made sense, the other was really irrelevant anyway because it was the catfishing thing that hurt the worst. She never tried to bolt out of the cafe, nor did she ever not look me in the eye. After a few minutes of this, I decided that my honor had been satisfied and that I would change topics. What started out as a lunch ended up with an entire afternoon and early evening together walking and talking. Man, has she ever had a rough time since high school. She was actually very down to earth. Not at all like I imagined her being. Of course, my imagination of her then was her speaking with a forked tongue while chanting scriptures from the Book of the Dead. The main takeaway I got about her from today is that she is genuinely interested in me. She admits that the uniform from the other day was a turn-on, but that she wants to get to know me for me. Which sounds cheesy when I read it typed out here, but when she said it, I was kind of impressed. Honestly, this was a great day for me. I got closure, I got a heartfelt apology, and at the end of the day, once I got past thinking of her as the daughter of Satan, she was actually a decent person to talk to. And yes, I now see that she is wickedly hot. By the end of the evening, she was all smiles again and telling me how she hasn't felt this close to someone in a long time. She actually gave me a good night kiss. Anyway, Friday night is on for sure. Alright, well, OP got closure, that's always good. Do you want to know how Friday night went? Because I've got that update for you too. So let's continue with that now. Went out with her last night and things could not have gone better. Honestly, I had fun with her. Not the way you're thinking, by the way, you sick bastards. And we stayed out later than either of us planned. Thank God I didn't have to go to work today. This wasn't a normal date for me. Generally speaking, I tend to end up in bars and listening to crappy music all night for some woman who I really don't connect with. In many ways, this was surreal because I was having the time of my life with a person who up until 48 hours ago, I had spent well over a decade either dreading, fearing, or hating depending on the day of the week. We went effing bowling, and it was her idea. I haven't been bowling since I was a teenager, and you could tell. She laughed at me because of how bad I sucked, but all I could do was laugh with her because she wasn't making fun of me, she was having a great time. After that, we went and ate, and she demanded to pay because she said she asked me out, which is the very first time in my life a date has offered to pay for my meal. I was taken aback at first, but the more the night went on, the more I appreciated the effort she was putting into this night. The more we talked, the more we found out we had a lot in common. I got the most passionate kiss I've ever received in my life as we said goodnight. I'll be damned if I didn't feel like I just lost my virginity again when she did that. I can't even explain it or how it felt. I've never been kissed like that. We are going out again tonight. My idea, by the way. At this point in time, I think I can close this out because I am positive of my own question now. I don't know if everybody can, but she certainly has changed and I'm looking forward to getting to know her more. And that's it. What do you guys think? Well, there's two ways we could go. One would be the pessimistic route, which is she's playing him for a fool or something like that. And the other one is that it's genuine and maybe there's a relationship here. I'm usually a cynic. But in this story, I want to give OP the benefit of the doubt and that she's genuinely interested and that there is going to be some sort of positive relationship here. But like usual, that's just my opinion, so I could easily be wrong. Hopefully for OP, I'm not. What about you guys? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. So on that note, we move on to the final story of this video. This one's from user throwaway keep big secret. My 26 male brother, 29 male, is married to, and cheating on, my best friend, 26 female, and I'm conflicted if I should say anything. My best friend, Pam, and my brother, Jim, got married 2 years ago. I recently discovered that Jim is cheating on Pam with a college friend of mine. Said friend posted a picture of my brother's back laying in bed with her on her Snapchat. I'm assuming most people thought it was from some random guy, but Jim has a tattoo of my and my younger sister's names on his left shoulder. I immediately confronted him and demanded an explanation, and he admitted he has been having an affair for the last 2 months. I was appalled, but decided to not tell due to Jim's pleading. I've been having a very hard time choosing to stay quiet or not. I didn't have a great childhood. My dad was out of the picture. Mom was there but had some mental health issues that rendered her, let's just say, unable to be fully attentive. Jim stepped up. He served as a parent for so much of my life. He practically raised me and my sister. If not for him being in my life, honestly, I probably would have starved to death or ended up on the streets. I don't think I can just betray him like that. On the other hand, Pam is my best friend. We've been friends since we were 17. If my girlfriend had been cheating on me and Pam knew, she'd tell me. She deserves to know what Jim is doing, but I'm just unsure if I can out Jim like this. What should I do? Well, that's a very difficult position for OP to be in. The good thing is we have an update, so we know exactly what he did. Let's continue with that. Thanks for all the help I got in my last post. As much as it pained me to do so, I decided to do the right thing. Pam should know that my brother is cheating on her. I decided to give Jim a chance. I called him and I told him that I can't keep this secret. It was tearing me up inside to do so. I couldn't think about anything else. I told him I loved him so much, but I couldn't let him do this to someone else I loved like family. He begged me to reconsider. He didn't try to guilt me or anything, but he did say that he needs his younger brother to just be there for him. I told him I couldn't. I asked him what he would do if it was me getting cheated on, or our little sister getting cheated on. He said that he understood that it's wrong, but he was just exploring himself. I told him that that's no excuse. I told him that he had until that evening to tell Pam, and if he didn't, I would have to. We then hung up and I just waited. At 11 p.m. I called Pam and struck up a normal conversation. I asked her how things were with my brother. She said that it was all fine and that they're thinking about having kids. I really couldn't believe my brother made me do this, but I had to tell her. I told her what I saw. She was livid. She refused to believe me. Luckily, I was able to show her the screenshot of my brother being in someone else's bed. She then told me she needed to hang up. I haven't heard anything from my brother. But as of today, Pam is leaving him, so I guess that's good. She won't have to be hurt by him like that, and I can be there for her. My brother hasn't answered any of my calls or texts, so I don't know when we'll talk again. At least I still have Pam and my sister, I guess. Well, OP did the hard thing, which actually shows a lot of character and integrity. It is of course sad that he might have lost his relationship with his brother, but he did the right thing. What do you guys think? Alright. Now we've reached the end of the video. I truly hope you guys liked it. If you did, go ahead and click like. And don't forget to subscribe and click that bell so you get notified when I put out a new video. And also, don't forget to check out my other channel, LG Reddit AITA, a channel exclusively focused on Am I the A-hole? There's a link in the description. And having said all that, I will see you guys in the next video.